Urban Definition on CHHA 1610.
That is probably the most bizarre intro I have ever heard on the show. Usually we have a fancy stinger that plays and says, "You're listening to Urban Definition with your co-hosts, with Kareem, Sassan, and Zayn." And I think what happened is, unfortunately for those of you who tuned in last week, we were unfortunately on a hiatus. But we have returned since, and as per usual, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Zayn Jinnah.
Hey, everyone.
And Mr. Sassan Mirzai.
Hey, everyone.
I said Sassan Mirzai.
Yes, you did.
No, I mean, I was saying Sassan Mirzai. I had a whole shtick ready for that, where I was going to be like, Sassan Mirzai, Sassan Mirzai, Sassan Mirzai, calling Sassan Mirzai, Bueller, Mirzai. But no, we are actually joined by our stand-in tonight for Mr. Sassan Mirzai, I can't think of a good adjective to describe her.
I just met her today, so I really don't know world traveler?
Miss Amanda Lawrence.
Hey, everyone. My name's Amanda. I'm here co-hosting with Kareem and Zayn.
That was probably the most formal introduction I've ever heard in my life, and that was far more formal than the two of us have ever done, and we're on the air, like, professionally weekly.
Yeah.
So she has already put us to shame tonight.
Well, you know what? I think once you get used to the vibe of everything, then she'll be okay.
I don't know. I kind of like the fact that she started formal. That was pretty dope, yo. That's a slick move right there. Setting the bar high to begin with.
Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome. I think being formal is the best way to go when you don't know what you're doing.
That's true. I agree with that.
That's true, yeah. That's true. And it's funny because last week we had our show automated for a reason that Zayn is going to tell us in a moment. But before Zayn tells us the moment, I got a lot of text messages and Facebook messages about like what we were playing on our show. And Zayn was like, "What's going on? I don't understand. What's happening? What's playing?" Zayn, I'm just gonna choose something from random right now, just so you can hear what was playing on our program while we were away. That is all I needed to hear. What on God's green earth was that?
I don't know. You didn't program this, did you?
No, that was Boom by Lena Fuoro, who I'm sure is a fantastic artist, but has no idea what Urban Definition is and does not understand.
Well, I mean, if we didn't program it, then, all's fair. It's a fair game.
All right, I'll give you that. That's fine. We'll let that slide. But onto, I wouldn't say a serious thing, but, Zayn, why did we not have our show last week?
Well, what happened last week was a close friend of mine had passed away, so I was not in a good emotional spot, and so I told Kareem and Sassan I wouldn't be here. And because Kareem and Sassan actually knew him as well, we decided that, the mood of the show, having this information was just not going to be the same. We wouldn't be as cheery or as fun. And so we decided that, let's just not have the show. We'll go on a hiatus for that week. And we'll continue next week when things are a little bit lighter, when we've picked ourselves back up, because it was a tragic loss. And I thank Sassan and Kareem for their support towards me and towards the family of my friend as well.
But we back now. We miss you, Brandon. And this is for you.
Appropriate. Very appropriate, actually. He would have appreciated that a lot.
Absolutely. Something that Zayn didn't touch on is that Brandon was always a huge supporter of our radio program, and though he may be lost, he will never be forgotten, and we will always remember him on Urban Definition.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for saying that, Kareem.
I don't know why you're thanking me.
I couldn't have said it better myself, that's why.
That's all good. So, Zayn, how can people join our conversation tonight?
You can go to our website, urbandefinition.ca, click on the Facebook and Twitter tabs, and join in on the conversation. Use the hashtag UrbanDefinition. Let us know your thoughts on everything that we talk about tonight, in the future, and in the past. And just be on social media and be part of the conversation. Chime in with your opinions, your thoughts, facts, fact check us, do whatever you can. Just be part of it.
This guy said fact check us.
Hey, you never know, right?
that
Sometimes
is absolutely true.
A lot of random things, and it's like, I'm not sure if that was true.
That is especially Kareem. That's a Kareem thing all the way. So I love when you guys fact check me.
Yeah, it's happened.
So with that being said, Zayn, what's going on in the world right now?
Here's the first thing that I woke up and heard today. Kevin O'Leary dropped out of the Tory leadership race. Now, Kevin O'Leary, for those of you, he's best known as Mr. Wonderful from Dragon's Den and Shark Tank, and he joined the Conservative Party's leadership 3 months ago, but today he dropped out. He's throwing his support behind Quebec rival Maxime Bernier, who appeared to catch even some members off guard from his own team, as they gathered actually to prepare for tonight's final leadership debate. So just ahead of that, he's quitting. Now, sources behind that say that he's been mulling for the idea for about a week now, and he's convinced that as a leader, he may never be able to rally enough support in Quebec to deliver a majority Conservative mandate in 2019. Now, Kevin O'Leary has said, "This is obviously very disappointing for me. As someone who was born in Montreal, I had hoped I would do much better there." I didn't know he was born in Montreal, so that's actually surprising to me. And
I didn't know Kevin O'Leary was Canadian up until he started running for the Canadian Conservative.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I never knew O'Leary was Canadian. I always thought he was remember how what was it? Michael Ignatieff?
Yeah.
You remember when he was he came from the U.S. and then he came here? And then that was a huge deal. I thought O'Leary was one of those guys that was yeah, sure, I might have been born in Canada, but I identify more as an American.
Oh, no, he's fully Canadian.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Now, something to consider why he would quit is because he doesn't know French very well, and so the lack of facility is a huge liability, so much so that he skipped the last bilingual debate in Edmonton over concerns about the format. And some of his assets, which may in this case also be liabilities, is the fact that instant recognition, years of television exposure, and a public image as a savvy financial manager, along with having a no-nonsense outsider approach, is echoed very similarly to U.S. President Donald Trump, who lately has not been, for the last however many years now, has not been getting the best attention. So with that kind of association, you can see why he would choose to drop out. Now, of course, this could have all been a publicity stunt as well to get his name a little bit more in conversation with other ventures that he has going on. I don't know the real case, but he knew that he would not have enough votes to go past into not just Tory leadership, but then winning the election, it seems. So thanks, Kevin, for trying.
Have you seen how Maxime Bernier looks, though?
No.
He looks like a guilty... his face, he has resting guilt face. If you're able to see a picture of this guy...
Resting guilt face, RGF.
I'm going to show you what he looks like, but that's in studio. But if you guys have a chance, please look him up. And Zayn, you're going to describe what my face currently is. Are you ready?
Yeah, you just look like you're worried about something all the time.
And constipated.
A little bit.
Constipated guilt face. That's what we're going to call Maxime Bernier from now on.
Can we do that?
I don't know. I'd like to call him that. Amanda, stamp of approval?
Stamp of approval.
Maxime Bernier will forever be known as constipated guilt face.
All right, and so it was done. Wow, really?
I had to do it.
You gave yourself a 3-1 salute over nicknaming a guy?
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
You wanted to do it.
I did want to do it. Let's be honest
you wanted
here.
To do it. Why would you do that otherwise?
That's true. That's a very valid point. But yes, continue with the news, por favor.
Another thing that happened today. The White House has floated around the threat of pulling out of NAFTA. The White House told U.S. media that it's mulling over the idea and that President Trump is considering an executive order threatening withdrawal, and the New York Times reported later today that he's actually leaning towards issuing that order. And that's a concern for a multitude of reasons, most importantly free trade, as Canada and the U.S. are each other's largest trading partners.
Did you mention lumber and dairy?
He had a rant about that.
Not a rant, dude. That's where the tariffs are. That's the whole thing. It's lumber and dairy. And Trump said, for years the Canadians have been outsmarting us Americans when it comes to their exporting and their importing of lumber and dairy. So we're going to start charging more. So now you got additional tariffs that are impacting these dairy farmers and not lumber farmers, just lumbers, lumberjacks.
People who work in that industry?
Lumberjacks who are not the hipster kind?
Sure.
But, people are outraged. This morning when I got into the office, I was bombarded by, 4 people who were like, are you covering this on your show today? Are you covering this on your show? Please cover this on your show today. Make sure to cover it. Talk about it, because this is important to all Canadians.
I guess so.
So if you work in lumber and you work in dairy and you live in Canada and you have a small business and you're importing those goods, y'all in some real trouble.
I can tell you right now the Canadian government disagrees with that, and more will be. I mean, a lot of it is like just talk right now.
Well, these are two of your most imported products in your entire country, and you're a politician. This damn well be at the top of your concern list.
Would it really?
Yeah.
Compared to everything else that he's been talking about, is Canadian lumber and milk really his biggest problem?
If we're really going off on that tangent right now, this, for me, as a Canadian, is higher on the list than Flying United.
Fair. I guess because it is a Canadian concern. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Input, Mrs. Lawrence? Wow, you really are Sassan.
I don't think I know enough on the topic to really have a serious input. I know it's more of a Canadian concern than Flying United.
And does that also include your doodling?
Yes.
She's doodling. What are you doodling?
Triangles.
Very nice.
I doodle a lot too, actually, when I'm not the one talking.
Helps me
I feel
think.
you. Yeah, it does. It really does.
Well, obviously it didn't help her because she had nothing to add to the conversation.
To be fair, I have nothing else to add to this conversation.
You're roasted like roast duck.
Moving on. Earlier today, a woman was stranded for more than 4 hours on a crane at a construction site in downtown around the Church and Wellesley area.
Do we really have to cover this?
We do, just a tiny bit. Officers were called there around 4 a.m., and it appeared that the woman climbed up to the very top of the bottom of the crane and somehow managed to lower herself down a cable onto a block on the crane's hook. And the crane's hook is a very small area. So when there was a report that was told to police, they came over as soon as they could, and it took about 2.5 hours to climb her down the crane, which was described as a very well-executed operation by a highly skilled technical rescuer. No one is sure how she got up to the top of the crane, why she decided to climb it, and it's just approximately 12 stories tall. So it's a tall crane.
Okay, can I please interject for a quick second?
Hold on 1 second. She has been charged with 6 counts of mischief and was taken to the hospital but is in stable condition.
Okay, can I please mention to everybody that all of the news coverage, before this lady was, carried down on the cable, somehow she had enough time to fix her hair, fix her makeup, and look absolutely gorgeous. And apparently I'm pretty sure she's a model.
I don't know how she got up there.
As my coworker, who always chooses to stay nameless, would say, and this is what she told me this morning, is this lady, she thinks, did this for her 10 seconds of fame. And I actually absolutely agree with her. Because if you look at it, she was trespassing. And how does that situation happen?
That's the whole point. No one knows. That's what I just said.
This is stupid.
No one knows how she got up there and why she even went.
This is just stupid.
My personal guess, she's been celebrating 420 a little bit too much.
I was just happy when the police cuffed her and put her in that car.
Do you think she did it for her Instagram, though?
Yes!
I'd like to see her
extreme.
Instagram. I want to see those pictures.
Oh my! See, this is exactly why she did it.
It can't be just for the gram. It can be
I
due
agree.
to a gram, but not because of Instagram.
Maybe she's doing it for attention?
I don't know. It's just, why do people do bizarre things?
That's a good point.
Also, I thought we agreed we're just going to read the news straight.
I'm sorry, Zayn.
Already failed. You did a good job 2 weeks ago, by the way.
Thanks.
Thanks
I
for
tried.
continuing it.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. But yeah, that's all we have.
That's legit the news today?
That's what we
We're
have time
ending on this
for.
foolish lady?
We don't have that much more time.
Yo, guy, I don't know why you have to end on this foolish lady. This is madness.
We'll be back, guys.
I'll think of something to come back to when we come back from the break. Stay tuned.
Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610. This is Urban Definition.
Welcome back to Urban Definition, everyone. If you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure to check out urbandefinition.ca to be part of the conversation by hitting the Facebook and Twitter tabs and talking to us as we continue our show for the night. Now, I know before we went to commercial break, Kareem had some news stories he thought we should have ended on, but we didn't have a chance to.
Okay, so a couple things. First, I completely rejigged our show's profile of track list to make sure that our show sounds the way that it normally is, and I'm so thankful that I did, because now our show sounds like normal. What we should have ended on the commercial break was The Toronto Maple Leafs have lost to the Washington Capitals, who will now face the Pittsburgh Penguins. But either way, the sad news is that Toronto Maple Leafs have been knocked out of the NHL playoffs. So happy golfing, boys. But on the side note, at least they have, a lot of people didn't think they'd make the playoffs to begin with. So for me, I think it's a major accomplishment.
Most definitely. I was going to say, I think you're missing something, but it's a good thing you touched upon that. And I know you wanted to touch upon this, and I told you not to, but the Raptors are playing Game 6 tomorrow in Milwaukee. Don't give me that look, because I know I was like, let's wait for it till the end.
Mega box ya, boy. Mega box ya. But it's okay. The other thing that we forgot to mention that, I didn't really know how we were going to plug this into the show, but I feel it really does require mentioning, just because I am a huge Silence of the Lambs fan.
Yeah.
John Demme passed away at the age of 83. While he may not hear this, our prayers and wishes do go out to his family. While he may have not been the youngest out there, and he's 83, he did live a full life, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Most definitely, our condolences to him.
So, moving on. For those of you who tuned into the program in the past, now is a segment that we like to call Real Talk. Tonight's Real Talk topic, instead of giving you the whole explanation of everything, we're going to go simply to the topic at hand, which is living beyond our means. Is our generation fixated on living beyond what we can actually afford? I will start tonight's conversation by posing this, the introductory question to Miss Stand-In Amanda Lawrence. Is today's generation too reliant on their parents for support?
I think our generation is indeed reliant on their parents for support, but not because we're lazy, not because we just want to live beyond our means. I think most of our generation, unlike the generations before us, start out their adult life, with more student debt than ever before, which puts a damper on things you want to do in your life. Do you want to travel? Can't. You got student loans. Do you want to buy a house? Can't. You got student loans. So
I would agree with you on that if it wasn't for the fact that half the people that I went to school with in university after graduating are traveling the world on their parents' dime.
That's interesting, because half the people that I've graduated with are struggling, working 2 jobs, 50, 60 hours a week to pay off student loans and get where they want to be in life.
So, with that being said, as you and I represent both sides, I'll pass it off to Zayn. Zayn, would you say that there is some sort of perhaps difference in the way that people... so, for example, if you have to pay for your own education, is the way that you approach after university, after college, different?
Yeah, because you're more mindful of where the money comes from and how to spend it to make the most of your livelihood. I will say this. I lived at home, and so because my tuition was relatively lower, I had the fortune of having my parents pay off for it. But with that being said, I still did work once a week during school for a family friend, so I got some cash. And even right now, I'm completely financially independent. I do live at home, but I have a way of living by my own means, so I'm not living above it. And I agree with what Amanda's saying, and I think when you said that half of our graduating class is traveling the world, not all of them. A lot of them do have families that have money, right? But there are people who are struggling day to day, who are working a few jobs at a time, or are bouncing around freelancing, like Sassan's freelancing, but he's another case and he's not here to defend himself. Struggling to pay for their way through just having a life. Yeah. I don't think that our generation is fixated on living beyond their means. I think it's just if you have the advantage and the fortune, you're giving into the things that were promised to you as a kid. That when you graduate, you'll have money to go on trips, you'll have money to go see the world, you can buy a house, you can get a car, get married, have kids, whatever, right? At a certain age. Times obviously have changed over the years, and the people with that family money growing up have the fortune to continue living that ideal dream that you and I would love to do, but can't.
I think something that we, I guess, maybe forgot, and maybe it's my fault, to mention is the fact that it really does differ for who you are and what your background is, and even what your parents' background is, because for example, me living beyond my means is very different to Amanda living and you living beyond your means, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I feel should be established is do the principles or the defining factors change between a wealthy family versus a, for lack of a better term, poor family?
100%. 100%, because the more money you have, the more you can spend, the more you can do.
That's true, but when we toss family or parents into the equation here, for example, right? Amanda's talking about people who are working multiple jobs to stay afloat, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are or they're not living beyond their means, because it just means that, for example, they probably have to take on those additional jobs, or it can be argued that they have to take on those extra jobs to pay for the luxuries that they don't necessarily need.
That's true. It's hard as well because we're living in an Instagram age where you go on your phone to check your daily news and you just see you're bombarded by ads that are tailored to your interests and pictures of people in their 20s just traveling. That makes you want to buy the things that you maybe can't afford and causes you to need the second job.
So you think that because we live in the digital age that we're just overwhelmed with the media basically telling us how we should be living our life, and it gets to a point where you say, okay, you know what, this is how I'm supposed to be living my life, so even if I can't live that life on one job, let me just do it because that's what the media tells me I should be doing, or that's what I should aspire to be doing, therefore I'm going to do it.
I wouldn't say our whole generation is doing that, but I know quite a few of them are.
Would you say that it's enough, Zayn, to enough people to conclude that it's the majority of our generation?
No, because there's still a lot of people that don't do that stuff. I mean, you have to remember, the people you see on Instagram is a limited amount of people. Not everyone posts to social media about what their life is or where they're going and what they're doing. And even then, the people who are going and doing things, they might have found cost-effective ways to do it. I know for myself, for example, going on all the trips I did last year, it didn't cost me a whole lot of money. In fact, if you lumped it together, that's like a 1-week vacation. So, in essence, you have to just find, not everyone is living some kind of glamorous lifestyle.
And how do you define, for example, it's easy for me to look at your life and say, she's living beyond her means without me really knowing what it is, what you have to deal with, or do you just have that excess income? So I guess at what point does the outside looking in jealousy factor, what role does that play in the way that others perceive, well, not just you, but I'm saying you as in the figurative you, not the literal you, deal with something like that? Do you understand what I mean?
Sort of.
I think I'll get to this question actually. I think for in my own personal case, for the people I see who do kind of hate on it, it gives me a bit of a humbling factor. Not that I'm happy that they're hating, but for me to realize that what I have is something others don't, and I have to be more appreciative of.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a good way to end Real Talk tonight.
Thank you.
That was good. I feel like that always happens with you. I'm always like, very good, Jane. Very good, Zayn. Good way to end it.
Yeah.
We'll be back, guys. We'll be back. Stay tuned. You listen to your Urban Definition.
Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610. This is Urban Definition. Tinder.
I don't know why. I just really wanted to do that. Welcome back, everybody. For those of you who are trying to figure out what on God's green earth I was trying to say, that's the second time I've used that tonight, by the way. God's green earth.
I'm keeping track.
I know. That should be like a hashtag, God's green earth. For those of you trying to figure out what it is that I was trying to say, I was saying Tinder. And that's because tonight's Tech Talk is actually being labeled Tinder Talk.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
In theory, your plan of saying Tinder over it worked. In execution, could have gone smoother.
I sucked at it. It was great,
No,
though.
we didn't practice it. That's why.
I feel like I don't know. Me listening to it, I thought it was just hilarious. But then again,
It
my
was
sense
funny.
of humor is absolutely atrocious.
You said it, not me.
I find the most ridiculous things hilarious. So I'll leave it up to our listeners to decide if it was actually funny or not.
Yeah.
True. So let me get into this whole Tinder business. So my friend, actually, I would say Amanda and I are very close, and she's been away in Ireland for the last year. And since she's been back, you've been back for what, about a month and a half now?
Yeah.
Every time I try to make plans with this young lady, she has a Tinder date. She's been back for a month and a half, and instead of doing what some of us would consider to be adulting, and, you know, doing what an adult is supposed to do, and I don't mean adulting in the wrong way, she's been going on Tinder dates.
Well, I think I've had a pretty good Tinder date adulting balance. I've managed to call and make dentist appointments on multiple occasions, grocery shop, and attend work regularly.
I'm surprised you don't have forcing Kareem to go to the gym on that list.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one to add to.
That's not a good one. That's a terrible one that we shall never speak of. Kareem in the gym. Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. I've been there.
Oh, God. So, before we get into the Tinder talk, how would you describe me at the gym?
Do you want to use the hoist machine?
You're too lame. I was expecting, like, a really quick, like...
No.
Yeah, that was lame. Anyways, why Tinder? Since you've been back, why Tinder? Why not just go to a bar, talk to people, or socialize, or work on rebuilding all your friend circles that you've missed for the last year? No, you go to Tinder. Why?
Not to say that I haven't been rebuilding my friend circles, because I have. Clearly, I've made time in my schedule to force you to go to the gym twice a week. Tinder is just the most acceptable platform of online dating, or not acceptable, sorry, accessible platform of online dating that there is out there, other than, I don't know, OkCupid, per se, or Plenty of Fish. I don't know, I just find it more easier to swipe left or right and find a date for the night.
A date for the night. Did you hear that? A date for the night.
Well, you're not going to find, like, your life partner on
Yo, let's
Tinder.
be honest. If it was me, I would have said, like, I would have swiped left or right for dinner. Dinner.
Dinner?
I know 2 serious couples who met on Tinder.
No way.
I promise you.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
for them.
Well, that's
So
funny.
they're like the one in however many odds,
Yeah,
right?
one in however many.
And that's funny because that's exactly what I was going to say. You and I have casually discussed this in conversation before, but according to you, Tinder is not necessarily a serious relationship app.
Yes, I found in the past I think Tinder was created with the intention of it not being a serious relationship app. Now that I've been on it, this is my second time being on it, I've found more people are looking for serious relationships. I say it's 50-50.
Wow.
Tinder. Yeah, and they are creating a website, a web page for Tinder, so people can use it on their computers.
I think that's going to be tacky.
I think so too.
That's like OkCupid and plenty. It's basically the same exact thing that is already existing online.
Well, I mean, it went from your phone to the website. That's it, right?
Okay, but let's go back here for a second. Let's talk more about this because Tinder. You're talking about serious relationships, yet the major contradiction of what you're saying is the fact that your type of guy is the kind of guy that more often than none is looking for a serious relationship straight off the bat. And by that, I mean brown people. And I'm totally saying that I can say this because I myself am brown. Is that fair, Zayn?
That's very fair.
I love how I'm so racially ambiguous that I'm brown. Today I'm brown, tomorrow I'm black, the next day I'm like beige.
What?
I'm just racially ambiguous.
No, you're not.
No?
No.
But I'm not brown. I'm Caribbean.
You're still brown.
But when I say brown, I'm talking about like Indian, Pakistani.
That's just
Brown.
still brown, yeah.
That's brown. That's
They're all
real brown.
Everything's
There's lots of
there's
different
no
kinds
fake
of brown.
We have this conversation every week. Let's continue.
I'm ambiguous brown. But anyways, Amanda, you are going for the not so racially ambiguous brown and going for the straight up Indian Pakistani dudes who commonly want a very serious relationship.
Is that true?
She got chocolate
exclusively.
love.
Like I don't want our listeners sit thinking that I'm only into brown guys. I'm not. That just tends to be who the people I end up going out with.
Can I just say, You got chocolate fever. You got chocolate fever.
Not denying it.
Oh, wow. She did not deny it. There you go. See? I'm not completely off with my statement.
No, you're not.
There's
That's
some
good.
truth to it.
Why brown guys?
To be honest, I really don't know. Personally, I enjoy, and I don't know what to say to that. It's not that I solely enjoy the company of just brown guys. I've gone on plenty of dates with people from all over the world, and they've been amazingly fun.
I've gone out with all colors of the rainbow.
I have. You prefer to put it that way?
What are you trying to get at here, Kareem?
I don't know. I just find it funny. I feel like I'm channeling my inner Howard Stern right now with this topic. It's like it's not a terrible topic, but at the same time, it's a little bit racy. I feel like
only because you're making it racy.
You're
There's
bringing it
nothing racy about Tinder. Just the same way there's nothing racy about Uber, but you're not going to find a lot of drivers are different.
What?
Never mind. All right.
Let's
go. Let's just continue about Tinder.
Wait, was that like a passive aggressive, like moderately racist comment? Were you indirectly trying to say that all taxi cab drivers are brown?
Mostly.
Are you saying that I should just jump in a cab to find a date?
No, that's not what
Tinder?
I'm saying. Tinder's not exclusive to one.
Hello,
Yeah,
Abdul. How would you like to take me out to dinner?
No, that's just big.
Where are we going? We're going to Red Lobster. That'll be $25.
So yeah, Tinder. Go on.
Yeah, so I've been on Tinder for a couple of weeks now, gone on a few dates. Not as many as Kareem insinuates.
No, let's be honest. I'm completely trolling her right now. Like, I mean, in general, I think if I had to put a number on it, my guesstimation would be 4.
I'd say it's closer to 6 or 7.
Oh, 6 was my first answer. Never second guess yourself, Zayn.
Nope.
And what are your experiences like on these Tinder dates? Because I know the way social media portrays it is everyone's just looking for one thing. But like, as I've mentioned, and you've said this as well, that there are people looking for a little bit more serious relationships that you've run into. But how are these last few dates that you have gone on?
So this round of Tinder, the last few dates that I've been on haven't been horrible, and the men that I've been on dates with haven't been exactly outright about what they want out of Tinder.
They're brown.
Their typical answer usually is just looking to meet new people, similar to mine.
I'm just looking to meet new people.
Hold on, let her finish. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost track of what I was thinking of.
We stopped with, I'm just looking to meet people.
Your atrocious Indian accent distracted me. So yeah, they haven't been bad. I know whenever you hear about Tinder online, you always hear like, oh, the horror stories of it, or these people getting catfished, or dates gone wrong. Actually, I was just reading in the news that an Australian woman fell off a balcony of her Tinder date and died.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, like you hear that kind of thing going on. I don't think I've ever been on a bad enough Tinder date that I've had to text my friend under the phone, calling, pretending for it to be an emergency. Like, everybody's being a decent human being.
So what is your failsafe in the event that you go on a Tinder date and it's just absolutely terrible? What is your, like, what do you do? What is your plan? Because everybody has that plan. What's yours?
I think plan A would be to dart off to the washroom, text my mother to call me in 10 minutes, and make a big scene. My mom's totally cool. She's totally willing to do this.
Why your mom?
Because, I don't know. She's my partner in crime whenever I need weird assistance like this. She's totally cool with it.
Shout out to Amanda's mom for being that wing woman.
Give her the 3-horn salute.
Wing woman in clutch time is what this lady is. So 3-horn salute to Amanda's mom. It would be better if I had the channel on.
Yeah.
That'd be much better, Zayn. I'll let it ride. All right. That's enough.
Thanks.
You don't get that much credit, Amanda's mom. But you're a great wing woman in clutch time, so
she's pretty good.
We salute you for that.
And so you go on to find and meet different people. So where have you been in the last year then?
Are you talking about where I was for the past year?
Yeah.
I was in Ireland, traveling around and seeing the sights, working.
And before the show, you told me you went to like some pretty cool countries, actually.
I did, yeah.
So, from the people you met there, what has your experience been like from... Because Tinder's a very specific group of people as well. Not everyone has...
Hold on. Did you Tinder in all the countries that you went to?
I didn't actually, and now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been interesting to do it in the countries I took a solo trip to.
Did you Tinder in Ireland?
I think I did a little bit.
Okay, so how does Ireland Tinder differentiate? Like, how is it different from Canada Tinder?
I find on the Canadian Tinder that most of the people are looking to meet new people or to find more serious relationships. It's kind of evolving rather than...
Wait, that's Canada or Ireland?
Canada is rather evolving from the hookup site that it was into something more. In Ireland, it's strictly a hookup site.
Really?
I have no good date stories from Ireland.
I have no good date stories.
See, because that's what I find Snapchat to be kind of going along the same.
Yes, I think so too.
Because Snapchat was originally made for raunchy photos, and now they have Bitmojis and filters. And
The thing that scares the snap out of me about Snapchat is the fact that they release that they're now like saving all of those onto like a server.
I think
yeah,
I
it's
heard
called
that.
Memories.
Your snaps are not safe anymore.
But let's be fair, they were never safe to begin with. Plus, it's no longer the medium that it once was, right? It's evolved to the same thing almost as Instagram, which is actually Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp are following the same structure in terms of we're going to have you can post a video or a photo for 24 hours, and that's it.
Okay, so back to Amanda, because we're probably not going to see her for quite some time. Give us the guides, break down the guide to safe Tindering.
Safe Tindering. Don't just swipe left and right. Actually click and read the profiles, because you may like match with somebody that is a total psycho, and it's always good to like do your research, like proofread before. Make sure when you go on a date that a friend or somebody knows where you are in case anything does go wrong. That's always a safe way to go about it. And just go in to have fun. Like, I find it's easier for me to go into a date talking to them as if they're my best friend. That kind of gets the conversation rolling a little bit faster and kind of cuts down the awkwardness.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
It's a foolproof plan.
All right, so that was... Oh, you said don't swipe right. Don't just swipe left or right. What is the tips and tricks to finding the perfect match?
I think Tinder, the platform, you can't find the perfect match just by reading profiles online. You actually have to meet these people. So there's no real tip or trick to find the right one, because anybody can say whatever they want to on an online profile. You actually have to meet them and get to know them in person. Yeah.
All right.
You decide that.
What's the guides to knowing when you need to cut it? Cutting people out of your life. Or cutting them off your Tinders.
You have to know your red flags. Like, what is it that you don't like about a person? Or if they tell you a weird story that just makes you want to cut them off instantly. I had a date a couple years ago tell me that he left his ex-girlfriend's child unattended at home alone. And that was red flag. I was out of there in an instant. So you just got to know, like, things.
And you work with, like, young children.
I work with children, yeah. So that was just immediately, I was like, okay, peace.
Deuces.
And probably for the betterment of that child, too, because
Yeah.
that sounds really dangerous. Like, how are you going to leave a child unattended at home?
Exactly.
But that's another story, I'm sure.
Ever been ghosted?
I have, on
Okay.
plenty of occasions. I've been ghosted by you. Just putting that out there.
Savage.
Since I've been the one on blast here.
Savage. She's roasting me. Roast like a roast duck.
Jeez.
Yes, I've been ghosted, and
Kareem
I've
ghosted you?
Yes, he did.
Why'd you ghost her?
Can we not get into this
Yeah,
right
we're
now?
not gonna get into that.
Yeah, let's not get into this now.
That's rude, Kareem.
We're friends now.
Now you are, yeah.
I think
She
ghosting...
needed the ghosting. She needed the ghosting to get
Okay.
into the friend zone.
Okay.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah, don't get into that now.
I'm sorry I asked.
Yeah, so I have been ghosted, but I think that's becoming more of a thing now. Is because like I don't care as much about it. I think people are just kind of accepting the fact that they've been ghosted. I know I do. Like, if
All
you're
right.
gonna ghost me, it's not like I'm gonna dwell on you for days.
Yeah, I think you get to a certain point where you're just kind of like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Last question. Best Tinder date you've ever been on?
Best Tinder date I've ever been on. Well, one of my first dates took me to the C&E, and we just loaded up on all the nasty junk food, the cronuts, the funnel cake, the French fries and burgers, and it was just like a great night. We rode all the rides at the C&E, and it was so much fun.
So simple yet effective.
Simple yet effective, yeah.
See, that's what I find the best date nights are, actually.
I agree.
What would your girlfriend say is the best date you've ever taken her on?
Probably something similar, just like a chill night, no expectations, but the vibe is fun, and you just end up doing, just having the most fun doing nothing.
All right, last question before we go to commercial. Whose responsibility is it to plan the dates?
Both. It's up to both parties to decide on planning.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, everyone should have an equal share in deciding what you want to do.
I agree with that. We'll be back, guys. Urban Definition.
Urban Definition. On CHHA 1610. This is Urban Definition.
Welcome back to Urban Definition.
Urban Definition.
Sorry,
Thanks.
I clicked the wrong button.
Way to go.
That's what happens when you skip all the commercials.
Way to say that on... Oh,
Yes.
God.
Welcome back to Urban Definition. My name's Amanda. I'm here co-hosting with Zayn and Kareem.
She's never coming back.
I'm never coming back. Sassan, I'm sorry if you're listening to this.
She's like, Sassan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you have to put up with these guys.
Yeah, I know what you have to deal with now. So yeah, other than that, it's been fun co-hosting with these guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Being roasted by Kareem is something I'm used to daily, so it's no big deal.
Savage!
That sounds like he's a bully. He's Kareem. You gotta stop.
A little bit of
this,
a bully.
man.
Apparently I bully everybody.
He
Am I
does.
the only one who tells you to stop doing this stuff?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know anymore.
I think you're the only one he listens to.
I tell Sassan every week, yo, stand up for yourself. Tell Kareem to stop it, and he just doesn't. Amanda, take my advice. Don't let him just push you around like that.
Okay.
I don't push anybody around. Zane's giving me the, parental nod, you know what you're doing.
You're in denial.
Savage. Hey, but in her defense, she did roast me in the last segment. She got me pretty good.
She did.
Yeah.
She did good.
She
Yeah.
put me on blast. That was good. I would give her a 3-horn salute, but I think we've exceeded our 3-horn salute
I think we
maximum
have.
per
I think
show.
so too, yeah.
It just gets too tacky at a certain point.
Agreed.
So with that being said, we did bring you on here for a reason, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And that is because, for those of you who follow us on social media, actually, no, even if you follow us, you wouldn't know. We've been pretty top secret about all this. So do you want to introduce it or do you want me to introduce it?
Oh, you go ahead. I'll
So
sit in.
Amanda and I are currently in production, and we are producing a food vlog for Urban Definition. Unfortunately, we currently do not have a name.
Food
which-
Vlog X.
Food Vlog X. What is the concept?
The concept of the food vlog is to showcase different spots, hidden gems in the city. Mainly food, hopefully in the future, maybe drinks, coffee, dessert. Just tell a little bit about the restaurant, meet some of the manager, the owners, and then try some of the food.
Mad dope. That's probably the best description I could have given it.
Yeah.
With that being said, we are constantly on the lookout for hidden gems throughout Toronto, food hidden gems, or as Amanda said, coffee gems, or just places that you feel we really do need to
Check
showcase and explore. I forget the name of the place, but hopefully it'll be in the actual series that we do at Bathurst and Bloor, the sweet place. Sweet. It's cakes and stuff.
At Dufferin and Bloor?
Bathurst.
Bathurst and Bloor?
Yeah. You actually, I think, are the one that introduced me to it. Or maybe I introduced it to you.
Sweets
But-
place. Is it the churro cones?
No.
Oh,
But that is another place. See?
Yeah.
Just by 5 seconds of conversation, we're coming up with a ridiculous amount of places. With that being said, Zayn, how do people let us know where to go, what to do? How do they contribute to being able to help us produce this amazing content?
They can go to urbandefinition.ca and click on our Facebook and Twitter tabs, although Facebook probably more in this case since I know you're going to check that more. And write on our wall and tell us places for Kareem and Amanda to check for their food vlog, as well as suggestions for names. I know because you guys don't have a name yet.
And I will say this, that if you are the one who comes up with the name of our food vlog, if you give us the name, if you create our name, we won't tell you what just yet, because let's be honest, we don't know yet. There will be a prize
Ooh.
associated with your assistance.
Making it interesting.
Is that fair, Zayn?
I think that's pretty fair.
That's fair. I think that's a good one.
That's pretty fair.
Very fair. With that being said, Zayn, what's going on this weekend?
This weekend, Hot Dogs Film Festival has started. In fact, it starts tonight. Did you just turn on my microphone?
I turned off the wrong microphone.
No worries. All right. Well, Hot Dogs starts tonight from April 20th. Well, tonight's the the midnight premiere kind of thing. April 27th to May 7th. It's the start of the annual Canadian Documentary International Film Festival. Tickets can be bought online at on the Hot Dogs website. or at the physical box office located at 605 Bloor Street West. And Kareem, I know you had something to say about hot docs as well. A couple movies to watch out for.
Yes, I do. And let me get my trusty piece of newspaper out, because I am still of the generation that reads these newspapers. And let me flip to the correct page that has said information. How about you go to the next thing?
Man, I thought you were prepared.
I was not on point. For some reason, it completely slipped my mind, and it is in front of me, but I will pull it up. But before
all good, all right.
And right as that happens, no, it's okay. Go ahead. Go to the next thing, and I will interject after.
Contact 2017 has a launch party that's happening tomorrow. It's the launch of Scotiabank's Contact Photography Festival. It's free to attend tomorrow, and it's going to be at the Ryerson Image Center at 7 p.m. And then following that, of course, the Contact Photography Festival will be held from April 28th to May 31st at various locations across the city. And you can go on Google and just Google Contact Photography Film Festival with Scotiabank. There will be over 200 exhibitions and events. And just to give you some context for anyone who's not sure about it, it is the largest photography event in the world and a premier culture experience in Canada. And I know because it's going to run until the end of May, it's going to be a springtime event, but it's going to be so much fun, especially now that the weather is getting better. It's going to have over 1,500 artists and 200 exhibitions happening throughout the month of throughout the GTA. And it started in 1997. It's a not-for-profit organization dedicated to celebrating and fostering the art and profession of photography. So it sounds like a really fun event. And
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's going. Are you planning to go?
I might actually go. Sounds like something I'd like to go to.
Yeah, if not the launch party, at least go to one of the exhibitions throughout the month.
100%.
Hot docs.
Thank you. All right, so our top 10 hot docs films that you need to book now. 7852, which is essentially an in-depth analysis of Alfred Hitchcock's Scream, and more specifically the shower scene and how it changed the way that we see psychological thrillers. Hope, which is a documentary on Terry Fox. Gilbert, Rumble, The Indians Who Rock the World. Whitney, Can I Be Me, which is it's a documentary on Whitney Houston. Memory in Kotki, which is it's about a festival in Syria. Life to Come, Spectacolo, Ramen Heads, which I've already gotten tickets to go see, which Ramen Heads, come on, Zayn, what do you think Ramen Heads is about?
Ramen noodles?
Exactly. And Nobody Speak, Trials of the Free Press.
Okay.
So definitely some dope movies. I know that CHHA will be covering a wide range of these movies. We got our media accreditation, so we'll be going around covering some stuff. If there's anything in particular that you would like me to cover, drop me a message on Urban Definition, and I will definitely check that movie out for you. If you see me at any of the docs, holla at me, and let's get funky.
Sure thing. On Saturday, it's Free Pie Day at the new location of North Shore Pie Co. in Ronsonsville. They'll be giving out free mini pies from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., so definitely go and check them out if you want some free pie. You also have Digifest on Saturday. Digifest, which is a 3-day conference located on the waterfront, and it focuses on the future of education, creativity, entrepreneurship, gaming, and technology. It's organized by George Brown College, and it's an event that connects the creative community with the most innovative technologies, ideas, and initiatives focused on learning, leadership, and positive social change. Kareem, I think you said something about speakers earlier to me, correct?
Yeah, they've got some really dope speakers coming out. I don't know their names off the top of my head right now, but I will say that representatives from GoDaddy, AOL Canada, and Shopify will be there, amongst many others, but those are the main three that I was like, when I saw them, I was like, dope. I definitely want more information on them.
That'll be really cool. And then Sunday, you have the YMCA Free Family Run, which is going to be at most of the YMCAs across the GTA. It'll be open to the public with free Healthy Kids Day and activities that the whole family can enjoy. So you have baseball clinics, child and family fitness classes, family first aid, recreational swimming, and YMCA summer camps, arts and crafts. So, yeah, I mean, there is a few other things happening this weekend, but I don't know how much time we really have to dive into those. Oh, one more thing. You guys already have a fan for your vlog that hasn't happened yet. My girlfriend texted me. She said, OMG, a food vlog/blog. I would love that. So, hey, one person on board for you guys.
Awesome. Tell your girlfriend to think of some names for it.
I definitely will, and she'll submit them.
And
Sounds
with
good.
that being said, that wraps up tonight's episode. For those of you planning to go out this weekend, and for those of you who plan on watching tomorrow night's game of Milwaukee versus Toronto, Game 6 in Milwaukee, remember to drive safe. I was going to say do not drink and drive because ain't nobody got time for that. We're all students of life. Live, love, learn. Deuces, everybody.
Take care. Have a good night.
See you.
This is Urban Definition.